The Redmi 6 Pro is the top-end device in the compact Redmi device series. It comes with a dual camera setup for the first time and might just change the rules of the game in its price segment. This is Sandeep from RevAtlas. Let's take a look at the camera review of the 6 Pro. The Redmi 6 Pro packs in a 12MP f2.2 sensor with 1.25 micron pixel size and a secondary 5MP depth sensor with f2.2 aperture and 1.12 micron pixel size. The rear-facing camera captures good images in terms of look and feel. The colors are natural looking while not being too desaturated. The white balance is also on point, but you do see that the details are a bit drowned out due to the noise reduction algorithm. You can see how there seems to be a mask applied over the details that leads to a loss in sharpness. Since this is a software-based thing, should be fixable with a software update. Dynamic range is pretty good by default and you get a well-exposed image with good details in the shadows and highlights. In case you're looking for more, you can use the HDR mode, which does improve things a bit in terms of highlights but makes the shadows darker. It also adds some clarity, which gives the feeling that is more detailed and sharper. Another characteristic is the slightly muted colors compared to a regular mode. Under low light conditions, the noise isn't too bad since noise reduction is quite proactive. However, one pro tip if you're shooting in low light is to use the HDR mode, which can make a world of a difference, especially when the lighting is really poor. Apart from a better exposed frame, another advantage the HDR mode gives is a sharper photo. Coming to a portrait mode, the blurring algorithm is pretty good and it also works from a fair distance. However, there is an issue with edge detection where the blur bleeds onto the subject or object a bit. It can become better with time since it's just an algorithm that requires tweaking. The portrait mode also works fairly well in low light. Panoramic images are great in terms of stitching, but they can get blurred if you move the camera too fast. So take your time when panning and you'll be able to get good results. The front-facing camera has a 5MP f2 sensor. Sharpness is plenty on the front-facing camera, and I'm surprised that a 5MP camera could hold this much detail. However, it comes at the expense of high levels of noise. Dynamic range is pretty limited by default, especially with blown out highlights, but the strong HDR processing does help to a large extent, especially at recovering information from highlights. Under low light is where the main issue is seen, as the noise goes beyond control in spite of the noise reduction algorithm working extra hard to keep it in check, which also results in loss of detail and sharpness. Portrait mode does decently well on the front camera but is not going to win any awards. While sharpness is still fine and there's good blurring, the edge detection is where it fails, just like the rear camera, as there's usually excessive blurring that bleeds onto clothes and other facial features. The rear camera allows a maximum resolution of 1080p with or without EIS. We recommend turning EIS on to get smooth and more refined looking footage. The sufficient details and colors are very natural. The front facing camera also does 1080p videos, albeit without EIS, but you get good sharpness and quality. So this is the front facing camera on the Redmi 6 Pro capturing 1080p video. Let me know what you guys think about the audio quality, how well it's picking up my voice, the sharpness, the dynamic range, how good it is at stabilization also. Do let me know. The Redmi 6 Pro essentially uses a similar setup to the Redmi Note 5 Pro at the back, albeit with an inferior processor. Together, you get around 80% of the performance you get with the Note 5 Pro, but the front-facing camera is the main weakness, especially in low light. If you can live with the weak low light performance of the front-facing camera and slightly noisy daytime selfies, then this smartphone's camera will serve you well. Thanks for watching this video. See you again in the next one.